Shame is one of the most toxic and damaging emotions, and it is usually the basis of our negative core beliefs. And then also, our negative core beliefs then reinforce that shame. So, I received a great question from a viewer about the link between shame and negative core beliefs, and also positive core beliefs, is what the person brought up as well. So, I thought I would make a video and address it. Now, unfortunately, shame is one of the most common emotional responses from trauma, childhood abuse, and then also childhood difficulties that our societies may not actually label as abuse, but in one way or another, shame was used to socialize a person, right? Like that can be very common, unfortunately, among schools and groups of bullies. And then when it's within the family, it's even the worst. So healing shame is a core piece of recovery work. And I'm going to go out on a limb here because, and this might get a little bit of pushback, shame is almost never justified. Shame is a pervasive belief of, I'm bad, I'm not worthy, I'm not good. It's all of me. Guilt is a feeling of, I did something wrong. Shame is, I am wrong. And it really breaks my heart how many people have a fundamental sense of shame that really underlies their whole existence. This feeling of like, I am simply just not okay. So part of what I want to communicate here is that you are okay. You're human. We're all fallible. And the shame that's instilled in us when we're different than we should be in society, or when we don't behave exactly as our parents would want, is actually tragic. So let's talk about how this interacts with negative core beliefs. And then that goes to what you can do about it, how you can heal from shame. And you can, truly, you can. So I do want to say here that one of the therapy techniques that I feel is the most effective for healing shame and treating trauma, treating abuse from the past is something called EMDR. And if you've been following my channel, I'm sure you've seen some of my EMDR videos and you know a little bit about me. But for those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Barbara Heffernan. I was a psychotherapist for 20 years, and I was an EMDR approved consultant and a specialist in anxiety and trauma. And I now have this YouTube channel and some online courses. And oh, if you are new and you like this video, please do subscribe. And for everybody watching, if you can give me a like, it's a big help. All right. So I just wanted to let you know that I no longer do EMDR. So there's not like a self-interested reason that I'm saying this. And no therapy technique works for everyone. So I do know there's some people it hasn't worked for or who haven't liked using it, but it is very effective. And I'm going to use the EMDR framework of negative core beliefs for this video. And at the end of this video, I'll link to a couple of the other videos that I have on core beliefs and EMDR if you'd like to explore this further. So when we talk about a negative core belief, most people seem to have 1, 2, or 3 truly core negative beliefs about themselves. Sometimes they're also about the world, and that underlies negative self-talk. It can underlie anxiety, depression. It can really be the core issue that keeps you from living a joyful life. And in EMDR, the negative core beliefs are basically split between those that reflect defectiveness and shame, sort of something is all wrong with me, and those that reflect safety. So safety could be I'm in danger, I'm powerless, I can't trust others, right? Those are some pretty common safety-based negative beliefs. And then the defectiveness and shame ones are more like I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I'm bad. So shame itself is not the negative core belief, right? Shame is the emotion. Shame is that pervasive feeling of something is wrong with me. Shame can be tied to a feeling of danger, right? Like if there's something wrong with me, then I'm in danger. Others will hurt me or exclude me. So shame can be tied to that sense of danger, but shame is really about the sense of the self. So, if shame is one of the core emotions that you struggle with, to think through what is the real core, basic statement that describes that feeling about myself. And I do have a PDF called Transform Your Negative Core Beliefs, and it helps to walk you through identifying which is your core belief. And then it also provides 3 techniques you can use on a self help basis to transform the negative core belief and strengthen the positive. So, of course, many people need help with this, right? Need to work with somebody. But the PDF can be a wonderful complement to therapy or a guide if you're doing a lot of work on your own and you feel comfortable doing that. So I'm showing it here, and the link is in the description to the video. And I have heard from many people that it was super helpful. So that's a little tool you can use. But know that if shame is that predominant emotion, then the negative core belief is likely to be something around I'm not worthy. It's almost as if like I shouldn't exist. I don't deserve to be here, right? Like I'm not worthy. I'm not lovable. I'm not good enough. All of those are shame statements. So, to find your positive core statement that would counter the negative, working not in absolute terms is super important. So, for example, instead of I'm not good enough, I am good enough. Instead of I'm not worthy, I'm worthy enough. I'm as worthy as any other human being, right? I'm worthy enough. You need to use the word enough and have it be a reasonable, positive self statement. Now, some people love affirmations, and I understand affirmations can sometimes work great and make us feel really good. In my view, they don't last really long. If we have an underlying feeling of shame, affirmations might put us in a good mind state, a good mood for a short period of time. But to really counter them, we need a very reasonably stated positive core belief. Instead of I'm unlovable, I'm lovable enough. Instead of I'm bad, I'm good enough. I'm okay as I am. I'm an okay human being. Those types of statements are the positive statements. And working with those in terms of what evidence do you have for that? Because I bet you do have evidence that supports I'm a good enough person. I'm worthy enough. I'm as worthy as any other human, right? So finding evidence, paying attention to those moments when you truly feel that and breathing it in more deeply, and then doing the work to recover from this shame. So there's one other tool I want to share with you, and it's something called virtual EMDR. Because I know that worldwide people do not always have access to EMDR therapists. Virtual EMDR is a web based program, and it is sort of in between getting help and self help, but it's a little bit more on the self help version. So, I'm going to show a video here that I have on whether self administered EMDR is a good idea for you or not. Because sometimes with very complex trauma or dissociation, the self-help EMDR is probably not the route to go, but for other people, it can be super helpful. So I'm going to again show the link for virtual EMDR, and they are a sponsor of some of my videos. But honestly, I connected with them because I truly feel that this can be a super helpful technique for people. And this website will kind of walk you through the steps to both identify the negative core belief, come up with the positive. It helps you do the eye movements or other bilateral stimulation and guides you through what to bring to mind. So it provides a little bit of structure around doing it. And I believe they also do have some coaches. All right, so check that out. So to come back to the specific question that I was asked about this, the person was asking me for what positive core belief they should work with if they have a pervasive feeling of shame. So the answer is whatever is the counter to the negative core belief that is the biggest one that hits home with you, that kind of feels the worst, unfortunately, that really drives the shame. And so you counter it with the reasonable language. I'm okay as I am is a great phrase to begin to practice with. Pulling in that wise self, pulling in that observer part of you who knows that you try really hard, the part that knows you're a good person, the part that wants you to heal. So I truly hope this is helpful for you. Let me know, comment below. post questions. Obviously, I sometimes do a video to answer them, and I truly hope this is helpful on your journey towards healing. Thanks.